EPCR Challenge Cup round of 16 is this weekend. The Heineken Cup's little brother is often overlooked, but it's a great chance to end the season with some silverware and give fans a special finals day out. In the last 16, we have 7 from the URC, 6 top 14, 2 Premiership, and 1 invited. That's the Cheetahs from South Africa. We'll start with the Friday game. So we have Bristol versus Clermont. This is 4th from Pool A versus 9th from Pool B of the Heineken Cup. Bristol went win-win, win-win. They did the double over Perpignan and Zebre. Clermont went win, loss, loss, loss in the Heineken Cup. They beat the Stormers first up, but then they lost both against Leicester and then lost against the Stormers in the final round. Bristol currently 7th in the Premiership. Clermont 10th in the top 14, so neither in great form this season. But this is a clash between the winners from 2020, Bristol, and Clermont are the winners from 2019. So 2 former champions trying to win this trophy again. Bristol last season were eliminated at the round of 16 of the Champions Cup. They lost to Sale. Clermont also eliminated at the round of 16 of the Champions Cup, lost to Leicester. Their last game for each of them. So Bristol lost their last game 46-24 to Leicester. Clermont won their last game 38-10 to Brive. So a good warm-up for them. This is going to be a tight one because Clermont take Europe seriously. So they're not, your typical French team that just think, oh, well, this competition isn't worth us winning. So therefore we'll send a weakened side, so expect them to give Bristol a good game, and they could be, we're probably going to get 2 away wins going on past kind of statistics, so maybe they're going to be one of those 2 away wins from this year. Next time we have Scarlets versus Brive, so this is 1st from Pool B versus 6th from Pool A. Scarlets went win-win, win-win, did the double over Bayonne and the Cheetahs. Brive went loss, 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 win. Lost both to Connacht, won against Cardiff. They actually lost their away games to Connacht and Cardiff by an aggregate score of 102-5. So an away trip for them is not a good prospect, I think. Scarlets also in a little bit of decent form towards the tail end of the season, so would fancy their chances to go through. At the moment, Scarlets are 13th in the URC, but they have been, putting some good wins together and slowly climbing up the table. They do have a big gap to close, though, on the teams above them at this stage. Brive are 14th and bottom of the top 14, so it's definitely isn't like top of the table teams clashing. Although, as I said, Scarlets are coming into a bit of form, so maybe it's not going to be as tight as you might think, given how lowly both are in their respective leagues. Last year, Scarlets were knocked out of the pool stages, the Heineken Cup. Neither of these teams really have that much pedigree in Europe. Brive last year were knocked out of the pool stages of this competition. Scarlet's last game was a win, 32-20 against the Sharks. Pretty impressive performance from them there. Brive lost 38-10 to Clermont. So yeah, fancying Scarlets to go through on that one. Into Saturday's game then, we have Toulon versus the Cheetahs. Toulon finished 1st in Pool A. Cheetahs finished 6th in Pool B. Toulon went win, 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 did the double over Bath and Zebre. Cheetahs went win, loss, loss, win. Did the double over Pau, but lost both to the Scarlets. At the moment, Toulon are 6th in the top 14. Cheetahs don't compete in any of the major European leagues. They're currently in the Currie Cup, though, and doing well. They've won at least the last 3 in that. Last year, Toulon, they were runners-up in this competition. They've been Champions Cup winners as well in 2013, 14, and 15. So they have a lot of European pedigree. Cheetahs, again, like all of the South African teams trying to create their own piece of history in these competitions as they come in for the first time. Hopefully they come back next year as well. It'd be like, I felt a bit bad for them when they got kicked out of the URC, and I hope that they don't get kicked out of this as well, because it'd be nice to see them kind of getting established on the European circuit as well, with a view to maybe joining the URC on a full-time basis at some point in the future. In terms of their last games, then Toulon won their last game 27-23 away to Lyon. As I said, Cheetahs have won their last few in the Currie Cup, including beating the Bulls. Now that wouldn't be the URC team, the Bulls. Like, they're the same kind of organization, but it just wouldn't be the URC players that are playing in that one. Next, then we have Stade Francais versus Lyon. So this is 4th in Pool B versus 9th from Pool A of the Heineken Cup, who dropped down. Stade went win, loss, win, loss. They won at home to both the Lions of Benneton, but then lost the away games. Lyon went loss, 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 win, lost both to Saracens and won the last game against the Bulls. Stade are currently 3rd in the top 14. Lyon are 4th. So this is probably, in terms of teams in form, the pick of this round of games. Stade are 2017 winners of this competition, and Lyon are defending champions. So again, fairly tasty matchup between these two. Stade Francais last year, Champions Cup round of 16, they got knocked out. As Lyon, as I said, won this competition last year. We'll be hoping to do it back to back. In terms of the last games, then Stade lost their last game 17-13 at home to Racing 92, and Lyon also lost to Toulon at 23-27. So both coming off the back of losses, but as I said, generally in decent form this year, and probably both of them are thinking if they can win this tie, they've got a good shot at the title. Next time we have Benneton versus Connacht. So Benneton 2nd from Pool B, Connacht 5th from Pool A. Benneton went loss, win, win, win. They lost to Stade first up, then did a double over Bayonne, and then beat Stade in the return in the final round. Connacht went win, 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 lost, did the double over Brive, and then they lost the final away pool game to Newcastle. That was one where they really dropped the ball. They should have been ranked a lot higher, and maybe, if they don't progress, they're going to be kicking themselves because of that. Currently, Benneton 9th in the URC, Connacht 6th in the same league. Not many points between the two, so expecting a very close one here, and probably very high scoring as well. Neither team have any real pedigree in Europe, and it feels like both should be doing better. Like Benneton, they're flying the flag for Italy. They've got a decent squad. You'd expect them to be going a bit deeper in this competition. Connacht, they're former winners of the URC, and again, up there in 6th in the URC is pretty decent from them. I think it's another one where if whoever wins this will fancy their chances to progress a lot further in the competition. Last year, Benneton lost in the round of 16 to Toulon, and Connacht lost in the round of 16 to the Champions Cup to Leinster. Last games then, Benneton lost 28-32 to the Lions at home, so not a great dress rehearsal for this one. Connacht won 41-26 at home against Edinburgh. So this one, I've got my Connacht jersey on, so I've got to go for them, even though my head is saying Benneton at home can be difficult. But yeah, I'm going to back Connacht for this one. Next then we have the Lions versus Racing 92, 3rd from Pool B versus 10th from Pool A of the Heineken Cup that dropped down. Lions in their pool, they went draw, win, loss, win. Racing went loss, loss, win, loss. Racing lost both against Leinster and had a narrow win against Quins. The Lions are 11th in the URC. Racing are 7th in the top 14. This is the Lions' debut here. They're fairly decent side, and again, it's one of those ones where if they can just get past this stage, everything's kind of possible for them from there. Racing, they're 3 times Champions Cup runners-up. Last year in the Champions Cup, they made a semi-final. They lost to La Rochelle, so this is a bit of a step down for them. But if they don't take this game seriously, the Lions definitely have the firepower to turn them over. Last games then, Lions won 32-28 in Benneton, and Racing won 17-13 away to Stade. Next then we have Glasgow versus Dragons, so second in Pool A versus fifth in Pool B. Glasgow went win-win-win draw, and Dragons went draw, loss, win, loss. Glasgow currently 4th in the URC. Dragons are 15th in the URC, and Glasgow are really one of the form teams in the URC this year. Especially actually currently they came from outside of the playoff positions all the way up to 4th. So it's going to be a tough day for Dragons, who haven't won in a very long time. Last year then, Glasgow quarterfinal, they lost to the eventual winners, Lyon. Dragons were eliminated at the pool stages of this competition, neither with any great European pedigree either. Glasgow, though, in terms of the teams left in this, they're definitely one of the form teams, if not the form team left in the competition. Last time out, they won 38-26 away to Munster at Thomond Park. They looked absolutely amazing at times in that game. Dragons lost 37-18 at the Ospreys. Got to go for Glasgow in this one. Dragons don't seem to be able to buy a win at the moment. And yeah, Glasgow just on red hot form. The final game of the round then is Cardiff versus Sale. This is 3rd from Pool A versus 10th from Pool B of the Heineken Cup to drop down. Cardiff went win, loss. Sale went win, loss. Sale won well against Ulster to start with, but then lost both against Toulouse, and then lost that vital one against Ulster, where the winner was going to progress in the Heineken Cup. Currently, Cardiff are 10th in the URC, Sale 2nd in the Premiership, so good form from them as well. And again, one of the teams that are probably looking to have ambitions to win this competition this year. Cardiff are previous winners from 2010 and 2018. Sale, no real European silverware for them, but they have a decent chance this year to correct that. Last season then, Cardiff lost in the round of 16 to Saracens. Sale lost in Champions Cup quarterfinal to Racing 92. Last time out for both teams, Cardiff won 34-30 at Zebre. They were, looked like they were cruising, and Zebre came back at them. They won't want to make the same mistake if they get a lead against Sale. Sale, last match for them was a 36-18 loss to London Irish, and that was back on March 12th. So, they might be a bit rusty, and Cardiff can potentially take advantage of that. Because of that, I'm going to tip Cardiff for this one. Okay, so that's it for this preview. I'm going to do a wrap-up of the games as well. You'll probably see on Monday, although I am traveling on Monday, but I'll try and get it recorded on Sunday night and then have it go live for you on Monday. If not, it's going to be later in the week. I won't be able to cover any of the games individually, just simply because we got Women's Six Nations and the Heineken Cup as well, As I said, this competition sadly gets a little bit overshadowed, but there are some huge fixtures going on this weekend. So if you want any details on those, certainly check out the channel. We've got lots more for you on there.